I want to play like a detective. I want to play like these cool spies. You know, I want to do an action scene.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I want to do all of that. Like, completely removed from gender and transition and, you know, this, that. So, मुझे ये सब भी करना है भाई. Like, I'll be happy to play a man also.
Yeah.
Because I played that role for 20 years.
You're like, ये आता है. और कुछ बताओ.
ये बात ये तो बहुत तीखा है.
This is very thick, huh? Oh, your tolerance is that low? Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. It's all good. So, coming out, mom was making fun of a certain famous flamboyant person on TV. And I was just like, Mom, it was just bugging me because it was very homophobic. And I was like, it's not cool to be like that. And she's like, tum kyun defensive ho rahe ho? What if, I just blurted it out. I was like, okay, what if I'm also like that?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you going to do? And she was very much like, Mera beta? Why? And it was like quite a shock because the signs were always there, in my opinion. Like the Justin Bieber posters in my room were not chumma some 7 posters. Why will I have?
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bombay Journey presented by Walkers & Co. Today we have someone really special. Karnataka's first trans doctor. She is somebody who's been pushing boundaries with content. Once a certified doctor and a surgeon, Trinetra Haldar Gummaraju is one of those who keeps walking because she strives to tell her story step by step on her Instagram or her YouTube channel called the Trinetra Method. Let's go and find out her Bombay journey while we keep walking. Hi Trinetra, welcome to the Bombay Journey presented by Walkers & Co. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
So nice to see you.
Likewise.
So, first things first. This is done in a manner that every area that we go through, you're supposed to tell the stories that you may have related to it.
Okay.
So, we're in Bandra near Pali, or actually off Linking Road.
Off Hill Road,
Yeah. Okay, yes, it is Piche. That is Linking Road, this is Hill Road.
Chance ही नहीं है.
Okay, ठीक है, we'll see.
Chance ही नहीं है.
Alright, no worries. I think I'm going to be challenged on this Bombay journey, but this is home now. This is what you call home, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
for 2 months.
Stories moving in, like the typical Mumbai moving in story?
I don't know if I have a typical or atypical story, whatever, but so 2020, I had never been to Mumbai apart from like a connecting thing at the airport or whatever. And I always wanted to act, as a child. But
so the heroine Kida has been there since Nice.
I remember when Aaja Nachle had come out, I was in, I think, 5th. And I didn't know who Madhuri Ji was, like traditionally or whatever. That was the first time I saw Madhuri Ji in her comeback. And I was so mesmerized by her, I cannot tell you. Like, I knew all the steps to Aaja Nachle by heart. And those chakkars that she said, oh my God, I would die. And I used to do it in my tuition and this and that. And my tuition teacher, I remember, came to mom one day and she was just like, Aapka beta na, kuch gadbad hai. And she was just like, do something about it. And mom was like, see, listen, you should not do in front of other people.
Okay.
I was like, okay, fine.
Indian parents.
And I also, I think by age 10, 11, I had also understood that gender is a thing in society. And like, you can't, behave a certain way as a boy, quote unquote. So I used to steal. So I kept it quiet from then on. But I would steal like my mom's saris and her jewelry and all of this stuff. And
so you were pushing boundaries at a very young age.
Yeah, and not even from a political POV or like a Krantikari POV. None of that. That was just who I was.
That's it.
Right? And I was just trying to be myself. And I think, but because a hero in Kakida was so unlikely for a dude, I was just like I can't, nahi hoga mere se. And I was also a very padhaku kid. I was that nerd in class.
Is that the Hyderabad acting upon you?
No, it was my mom acting upon me.
Wow, perfect. Same. Hard relate. Hello, mummy.
Okay.
I'm taking you to a very good spot.
To a what?
In Mumbai.
Guys will say they'll take you to a spot and then take you to the lowest point in your lives. बोल दिया मैंने.
जो बोलना ना सब बोल दिया. बोलती रहना.
it was very unlikely for me to come from a family of engineers and like very academic people.
Yeah.
To do anything like creative.
Yeah.
And so I was good at academics. I loved biology, like in 11th and 12th. So that's when I knew I wanted to be a doctor. And yeah, I just gave it my everything, man. I used to be in tuitions and coaching 24/7.
Wow.
And
what, Narayanguda types?
Huh?
Narayanguda mein?
No, this was in Bangalore, no? So we had this thing
called... so you'd moved to Bangalore, right?
Yeah. So by 7th, I'd moved to Bangalore.
Okay.
And there was this thing called BASE. I don't know if you know it. BASE is like a Bangalore thing. And I used to go to Baswangudi. And it was like a... Are you familiar with Bangalore?
No, not at all. Like Macha, I know.
Macha, he knows. But yeah, Baswangudi was my center. And I remember, you know, for the first time realizing just how much validation I got academically and how that allowed me to put away the gender thing for a really long time. Because, you know, it was the one thing in Indian school that gives you street cred, right? Like, it's, you can be bullied, teased, harassed, whatever, but if you're good at studies in an Indian society and you want to be a doctor, then that's like...
You rise up.
Yeah, it's like you have street cred.
Thappa.
And my teachers were always on my side for that reason, right?
Super.
So, there were very shitty teachers here and there. For the most part, I was happy.
Nice.
And in my internship, I just started. I was posted in gynecology.
Yeah.
Which I love. I still really, really am fascinated by it. If I come back to medicine, like a few years later, it will 100% be OBG.
Wow.
And that's when someone reached out saying, listen, the casting directors of Made in Heaven are trying to reach out.
Nice.
And do an audition. I was like, please, yes, this is my Madhuri Dixit moment. But I'm sure it's going to come out looking a lot lesser than that. Because it was my first time doing it.
Okay.
And I was obviously very nervous and all, but I auditioned. It worked out. And that's where...
That's also very lucky. You're right at the right place in the right time also, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a luck by chance dialogue, no?
Are we not filmy when we're passing Bandra, Pali Hill, next to Janta? Did you know Janta is like this very
Janta?
pop culture bar?
Okay. No, I've not gone.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like
Janta.
One of those things.
Janta bar, na?
Yeah.
I know Janta bar. I've not been, but I've heard lots about it. Janta bar, I've heard in conversation a lot.
Yeah.
But to audition was when I came to Bombay for the first time.
And you got the part and then you were acting, so...
Yeah, for the last 2 years.
So then Mumbai becomes full home in 2023 and now you've completely gone bold saying, "Main
Bombay karungi."
That's it. And you'll act and you'll be a content creator full time.
Yeah. Because I'll tell you why. Okay, so as someone who was in the hospital and doing other things at the same time, it was too much. I realized that you cannot give your all to such intense professions which are like on diametrically opposite ends of the spectrum.
And both require you at very edgy times in life and like...
It was hectic. And I remember when COVID ka second wave happened, I went back because shoot stopped and I went right back to finishing my internship. And, you know, COVID duty and this and that, people were dropping like flies and then chalo wapas set pe, and then, you know, the headspace shift was a bit much. And I realized that I can't do this, that I have to, you know, dedicate all of my time to something.
To one particular thing.
Yeah. And post-grad is, you're called a resident for a reason. Because you're living in the hospital, okay?
Yeah.
And I knew that if I did that right now, then I wouldn't be able to do anything else. I keep saying this, mere ko sab kuch karna hai. Make as much lemonade when I can and, you know, that.
How does life progress in terms of you realizing that, okay, this is who I want to be? What does the surgery, I know what it is called, but I want the world to know the story if you're able to share it comfortably.
Sure. Oh, I was a very confused kid, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know who the I was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just knew that I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, deeply just dissatisfied with what I was expected to be, which is that macho kid.
Yeah.
You know, like my very traditional, now not so much, but back then my very traditional Telugu dad tried very hard to masculinize me. Like bat balls, sab kuch khareed ke, you know, chillawing to go and get me to play with the other boys and stuff. But I just couldn't do it. And I couldn't figure out why I was being called I don't know if you know this thing. I think it's a Hyderabad thing. 0.5. I used to be called 0.5 all the time, and I didn't understand what does 0.5 mean, because I was
problematic India.
Very, and I was so young. I didn't know fractions also. No. I was like, what is the meaning of 0.5?
She's like, I'll take this by innocence. Cool. So gender confirmation surgery we're coming to.
So then I didn't understand for the longest time what was happening, why I'm so uncomfortable. To be honest, the surgery in retrospect was a very small part of the entire process, okay? Because surgery, many people do it, many people don't. It's a very subjective thing depending on how uncomfortable you feel. For me, in college is where, this is after medical school and all has happened. That's where पहली बार मुझे समझ आया कि अच्छा, gender dysphoria, there is a word called gender dysphoria, and it's basically the discomfort you feel when you don't identify with the gender जिसको थोपा गया है तुम्हारे ऊपर, है ना? So being a boy was thopified on me, and
I was biologically born.
What I was biologically assigned, and I thought I was crazy. Because that's literally how you're treated, like a crazy person. And not that there should be any stigma around mental illness, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
And then I was like, okay, so I have gender dysphoria and I need to deal with it. And I identify as a woman, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I finally had the answers to why I was feeling this way. And that's when, you know, I met an endocrinologist, got on hormone replacement therapy, which is usually the first step for a lot of people. And then had surgery a year later in Bangkok. And my parents, of course, parents are a whole different story.
Yes.
But I came out to them when I was 13 years old.
It's a fun story. You're watching something and then a party, and what is the story? That is...
You actually... Whoa.
Did I overlap two stories?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So, coming out, mom was making fun of a certain famous flamboyant person on TV, and I was like...
Do we know that? I know this person. Go on.
And I was just like, Mom, it was just bugging me because it was very homophobic, and I was like, it's not cool to be like that. And she's like, tum kyun defensive ho rahe ho? And I was like, because what if... I just blurted it out. I was like, okay, what if I'm also like that?
Yeah.
You know, like, what are you going to do? And she was very much like, Mera beta, why? I raised you better. And how can he at that time?
How can he that time?
And it was like quite a shock because the signs were always there, in my opinion. Like the Justin Bieber posters in my room were not chumma some 7 posters. Why will I have? Music itna bhi acha nahi uska.
Pretty boy. Did you also obsess over the haircut?
I had that haircut, man.
Oh, really?
I was called Justin Bieber haircut throughout college. I was known by that Justin Bieber.
Oh, damn. You know. Okay, go on.
And
so that like
impromptu coming out situation happened.
Yeah. And so then the reactions did not like domino into anything.
I would say so the thing is, coming out now, people have this concept ki coming out happens one time in somebody's life.
Yeah.
And then after that everybody falls in line. No. Like I came out so many times to different people, and even to the same people multiple times. Like to my mom, I came out first as I think I'm a gay boy because I like boys, and that's all I knew.
Yeah.
Gay was the only word I knew at the time to describe this.
So this is car danda. You can take Carter Road to the extent and then finish and then take this like cutesy road.
Okay.
It's cutesy when it's not this populated.
Okay.
But
it's cutesy when it's not this populated.
Multiple times you come out to multiple people and to same people multiple times.
Yeah. So I came out to mom as a woman finally only in college.
Because
मुझे भी नहीं पता था ना, like how to describe what I was feeling, etc.
Yeah.
That it's absolutely normal that even the World Health Organization, the American Psychiatric Association, we've all recognized that this is a thing. Okay. It's not some sort of delusion. It's not schizophrenia, which a lot of us were diagnosed with for a long time. If you watch The Danish Girl.
Yes. I know what you mean.
Hannah. So there's a certain level of pathologization.
Yeah.
That the medical fraternity in particular has taken part in very actively and continues to in different parts of the world, but leading organizations have denounced that pathologization.
Also, the alliance to the church may change perception, change their stance, right?
Fully. So much of our homophobia, transphobia comes from Victorian morals, right? Thanks to the British.
You came out to your parents multiple times. How did you keep walking through that journey?
when I was, I think, 18, 19. And mom at the time, she was like, okay, so at that point, they had dealt with enough after my coming out as a queer boy and like, you know, telling them I'm on Grindr, I'm dating boys and this and that. काफी scandalize कर दिया था, काफी rebellious phase था वो. But eventually when I came out as a woman, thoda bahut they knew, background tha.
Yeah.
I can't stress this enough, yeah. Time is such an important factor in our lives as queer people. It changes so much. Like we say, it gets better for a reason, no? That it gets better with time. And of course, effort also. I also had to teach mom, teach dad. But I have to give it to them, and they learned a lot. Like they went to therapists, they read up, sab kuch they did. And when I came out, they were like, okay, tell us how to support you. So that's when the surgery and stuff happened. So they funded all of that. The biggest parts of my transition, which I am so grateful for.
That's what, yeah.
And I know it shouldn't be a privilege for your parents to support you and support your identity, but it is, because we live in a country where most of us are chucked out of our houses, right?
Yeah. Indian parents and issues can transcend gender. But then I've come to a realization that they're also parents, they were also learning, they were also...
Yeah, I was transitioning, they were also transitioning.
Everybody is evolving.
You know? So, hota hai. And now it's come to a point where mom and I bond over saris.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What a beautiful sari you're wearing.
Thank you. This is Suta. I love them.
Yeah, I love Suta as well. So now, tell me about the fun days. What was Manipal like?
Oh my god, Manipal was a hellhole, but also the best time of my life.
Really? Why hellhole?
Because I was staying in boys' hostel, no, dude. Like, for a girl to stay in boys' hostel is a little hectic, no? So the transition doesn't happen overnight, na, ki suddenly you look like this.
Yeah.
It takes years. It took me like 3-4 years to sort of go through the whole thing. And it was happening bang in the middle of MBBS, which is already
a lot to take in.
Anxiety-inducing time in life, right? So I think staying in boys' hostel initially was really, really rough because I didn't know anybody. So yeah, it was a up time. And eventually when I started looking visibly different, like I said, slow process, no? So when you do the laser and you start the hormones and you start looking not very masculine anymore, we in the community call it male fail. And so when I started male failing, I was like, I can't stay in boys' hostel, so I have to figure.
Okay.
So I got my documents changed, submitted everything, Aadhaar वगैरह सब कुछ हो गया, and they were like, but pant में क्या है? It was like so invasive and gross, and I say it with laughter, but it's not nice when people at institutional levels want to very specifically find out what you've had done in order to give you housing.
Yeah.
Like, where am I supposed to go? I can't stay here where I'm being harassed. Give me a gender neutral housing now. Give me a different, because we did have gender neutral hostels. They were like, nahi. So I was like, okay, then give me girls' hostel.
There were gender neutral hostels?
Yeah, like unisex. There were boys and girls both.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
That's actually not bad, but
yeah. It's called New International Hostel. It was there were boys and there were separate floors for boys and girls. And most of my friends were girls, yeah. Like, they all would have been happy to have me in girls' hostel. But despite my documents saying female, they didn't give me girls' hostel. And I eventually had to file a PIL in the Karnataka High Court, saying that, you know, either give us gender-neutral housing or accommodate based on legal documentation.
Yeah.
Because you got the psychiatrist's letter. They literally had a talk with my psychiatrist to, you know, I don't know, legitimize this. And I don't know, kya doubt tha? Kya?
Kudos though.
Oh, thank you.
Takes a lot to like petition and then file and then get it approved and then move on.
Yeah, it's still in court, unfortunately.
Oh, it's still in court.
It's not, it hasn't moved. You know how the legal system is.
Yes.
And
no, but huge shout out to like folks like Keshav Suri who have unisex bathrooms.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Just common places, hospitable in nature and are accommodating.
Yeah, more workplaces, more hotels, more everything.
Everything.
Hospitals, vagara, every place needs to be accommodating more, right? So
100%.
TIS, I think, came up with gender neutral housing.
So cool.
Recently, and I think colleges are doing it.
Okay, tell me the fun stuff. What was dating like?
What was dating like? So I was on Grindr, for many years before I came out as a woman, etc. It was, I was too uncomfortable with myself to actually explore at that time. तो ज़्यादा कुछ तो नहीं हुआ. So the bulk of my dating has happened after I came out and after surgery and everything.
How has Mumbai scene treated you? Really?
It's been... No, I mean, I realized that whether it's Manipal, whether it's Bombay, Bangalore, it doesn't matter.
It's people.
Men are men. I don't know how else to say it.
No, fair enough.
No, I have met wonderful people also, but transphobia shows up everywhere, no? It's not just in college, or it shows up in the dating scene also. And it's come to a point now where I feel like I will be extremely selective.
Yeah.
And I used to be a little, I'm not going to lie, like to be very, very honest, when I first started getting attention from straight men, it felt validating.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, it came from queer men because, you know, they saw me as a dude.
Yeah.
But when it came from straight men, it was like, oh, so you see me as a woman and you're attracted to that. So, of course, that's validating, no?
Yeah.
But it took a long time to be able to figure out what attention is good, what is not, and that, you know, I'm allowed to be selective. That just because I'm trans doesn't mean I should be grateful for whatever little bit attention I get. That's bullshit.
This is Prithvi Theatre.
Yes,
you get one of the best shave puris. This man has the best shave puri.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay. Amazing.
Ato. See?
He knows you.
Yeah, of course. He's just like, bahut din ho gaye.
Hey, you want to have her?
We can have.
Come.
Okay.
Because I've not tried. बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है.
मैं पूरी दुनिया में बताता हूँ, अक्के मुंबई का बेड सेव पूरी आपके पास मिलता है.
अरे बाप रे, तो बहुत तीखा है.
This is very thick, huh? Oh, your tolerance is that low? Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. It's all good.
See, you have witnessed on camera that I didn't ask her. She went for it.
Thank you for this.
Good one. We can talk midway also. And then continue on the beach. I really like the fact that you have that bold choice decision making where you're like, I may be an Instagram influencer.
Right.
But I will not say yes to brands just for the heck of money.
Absolutely. I mean, see, initially, I know that all of us do it because we have to pay rent and we have to get by. And I would never, ever, like, especially for a queer or a trans person, be like, ye kyun kiya, wo kyun? Because we're all trying to get by in a really difficult world.
Yeah.
And I would never hold it against anybody. But eventually, I have been fortunate to have a little bit of say in the matter, ki say no to one or two things.
No, it is a bold move. It takes a lot of courage.
And can I be honest? I hate the word influencer. बहुत cringe लगता है मेरे को.
You want gajra?
Yeah.
Come, let's get you gajra.
अभी lovely.
हाँ दो ना.
जी. आपका नाम क्या है? रोशनी. आपका नाम क्या है? सारिका. आपका नाम क्या है? हाँ.
ठीक है. हाँ.
हाँ. प्रतीक्षा. आपका नाम क्या है?
रोहित. अच्छा. ठीक है. Thank you for gajra. अभी तुम लोग देखो ठीक है जाके. मस्त है ना, सुंदर है ना?
I really like
सुंदर है ना?
ये क्या है देखा? बहुत सुंदर है.
दीदी देखो आपके जैसा.
ओ आपके पास भी है, दिखा दिखा. दिखा? बहुत सुंदर है.
दीदी ये वीडियो दाओ गिफ्ट में दिया जैसे.
क्या?
गिफ्ट में मिला.
ओह ओके.
चलो बाय, सिग्नल खुल गया, ध्यान रखो. हाँ.
So cute. Oh my god, so cute. I will die.
Validation Max Pro. Okay. But you can show us the gajra now.
Can I do this?
Yeah, of course.
And this?
Yeah, of course.
I have no idea how this is looking.
So content, like when you were talking about putting yourself, you're very vulnerable on camera. Throughout your journey, you've been documenting a very serious set of details. Right. And like very, very vulnerable moments. So how do you keep walking through that situation?
It wasn't easy or difficult. It's just what I felt like I had to do in that moment.
Okay.
You know, because like I said, when I made the decision to transition, to basically flip my life upside down and, you know, go from being Angad to Trinetra, I didn't have a lot of references. And it's very difficult to, you know what your future holds if you don't have references.
Yeah.
there's this quote which I absolutely love. It's literally framed in my apartment also. It says, "You can't be what you can't see."
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
By Marian Wright Edelman. And it's so legit, man. It's like, unless you have role models, how do you know if your future is going to turn out okay?
Yeah.
To this day, I don't know. There hasn't been one mainstream trans actor for you to look at and be like, "Acha, kuch to ho sakta hai." That it's possible. We don't know that.
Yeah.
For all you know, in 5 years, I'll be back home, like, studying for PG.
Oh no, we're manifesting like a poster on Milan Subway with you in it. I am visualizing it also. Okay, there. Cool, done.
I also don't want to just play trans characters, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, we've had men play trans characters, we've had women play trans characters, cis men and cis women. I also want to play like anything and everything. Like, why can't I play a cis woman's character?
Yeah.
You know, like...
When I offered you that part that you should come audition for, it was a woman's character.
Right. And so I don't see why we as trans women can't audition for... Like, if there's a very significant physicality mismatch, I understand.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't see why it should be an issue. And also, the gender part, man, like, I want to play a cop, I want to play like a detective, I want to play like these cool spies. You know, I want to do an action scene.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I want to do all of that, like, completely removed from gender and transition and, you know, this, that. So, मुझे ये सब भी करना है भाई. Like, I'll be happy to play a man also.
Yeah.
Because I played that role for 20 years.
You're like, ये आता है. और कुछ बताओ.
So I want to go wild. I want to do everything. But I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, let's talk about food.
Okay.
Mumbai street food. You've had like one thing happen, Sev Puri already.
Vada pav. I have been obsessed with, man.
Yeah, no.
Like, I cannot get enough of it. It's heavenly. And for me, I come from a household where it was very mixed. We had Bengali food. We had like Telugu food also.
Yeah. Like gongura pachadi and stuff?
Haan, gongura pachadi. Charannam was like a thing every day.
Yeah, perfect.
It was like...
Karampudi, yeah.
Huh?
Karampudi.
What is karampudi?
Karampudi is gunpowder.
Like, gunpowder, yeah.
Yentamma. Yemantunnavu nuvu? Dokkestara akkadi nunchi.
Oh man. But there was also Mach Bhat and like Machhe Jhol and you know, all of this stuff happening. So for me, it was very mixed.
Like aloo in your chicken curry.
Yeah, aloo in our biryani. So for me, Andhra biryani and Bengali biryani are like, it's such a heated debate, man, at home, because it's a completely... Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I'm married to Bengali and I've come from Hyderabad and I finally converted my wife into a Hyderabad biryani lover.
I'm sorry, that's never gonna happen with me.
Yeah.
Bengali biryani is the best.
Have you gone to Calcutta and had it?
Yeah.
Like Aslan or what is that other one that I like?
ये सब मुझे नहीं पता. I haven't actually lived in Kolkata. Or, like, I go once in maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
So my Bengali roots happened mostly through my mom and grandfather, who would like teach me stuff at home, like reading, writing, the food, etc. But we put aloo in our biryani, which I really like. And I remember in Hyderabad, way back when, we used to go to, what is this place called? Paradise. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same as it used to be.
No, it's overrated now. I don't like it.
Really?
Sorry folks, nothing against y'all.
We used to go there and do birthday biryani and Khubani ka meetha.
How?
Dude, I miss Khubani ka meetha so much.
Mumbai rains story?
Abhi to shuru hua hai. But it started like last week and I fell sick immediately. Just like
ouch.
And the last 3 days I was just like in bed, unable to function. And I feel like when it comes to being sick, no, this is something I realized as a doctor also. It's truly one of the most emotionally vulnerable times in a person's life. Just being sick, even if it's a sore throat. If you are in a new city and have a sore throat and a fever and you're alone, you will feel like your life is ending.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, and I had a bit of that for the last 2-3 years. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And then good thing I'm also a doctor, so I knew how to handle it. But that would have been rough. Because I'll be honest with you, as a trans person, even to go to a doctor for a sore throat can be an issue. Because you don't know if your doctor is going to be about it.
What happens? Like, tell me the worst kind of incident if you want to. Or like
I have friends who've been sexually harassed by doctors.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Straight up. And say, for example, a lot of us have to go through psychiatrist consultations to get our gender dysphoria certificate, right?
Ji.
Before having surgery. So I've heard of psychiatrists performing unnecessary physical examinations and genital examinations to ascertain whether someone is XYZ. I'm like, what? What? And so many people came and told me that we didn't even know that this was not necessary. And I was like, of course it's not necessary. It's not a psychiatrist's job to be examining your genitals.
Tell me, what are the top 3 like DMs like this that you've gotten?
One, so long ago, I had put up like kuch to dala tha with the background of kuch to log kahenge with my sari, something I put up. This was like years ago. And apparently someone's dadi saw it and she was like, oh, she's so pretty or something. And then this person told their dadi that I was trans and stuff. And the dadi was apparently very like, ye kya hai? This is crazy. But over the course of that conversation, it made sense to her. That blew my mind because it's like if someone in that generation, over the course of a conversation, can be a little more accepting, then you in this generation have no excuse. I'm sorry, like no excuse whatsoever.
Yeah.
Second, this queer kid, so this parent of a queer kid reached out with a little photo of this kid in like short hair and a red colored jacket, saying, you know, we had a daughter 4 years ago, and for a while now, she's been very, very vehemently saying that I'm a boy and he, him, call me he, him, all of that. And we were worried because, you know, many a time it is a phase, but many a time it's not.
Yeah.
And we sort of went to a psychologist, and the psychologist told us about gender dysphoria and how it can manifest very young. And all you can do as a parent is be supportive and see where it goes.
Yeah.
If, you know, they continue and persist to have feelings like that, then you know that perhaps this was gender dysphoria. Otherwise, it's whatever. That's fully, absolutely wow. If a parent can like treat their kids better from just this, then that's something.
Yeah. No, thank you. It takes a lot to kind of, you know, what you're doing is collective progress. Because while you are evolving, you're able to help everybody kind of.
That's honestly the goal, right? And I think number 3 would be where someone reached out saying, my mom, I still call her mom, but she's in the process of transitioning where, you know, she still hasn't figured out her pronouns and stuff, but she has discovered that, you know, that discomfort that she had was gender dysphoria, and she came out as a trans man to all of us recently, and, you know, we're figuring it out. And I'm just like,
come. You should just give me the reaction. How did that feel?
That was amazing!
Yay.
Oh my god! Woo. It's not
You've never had pav bhaji with cheese?
No, I've never had pav bhaji with cheese.
Congratulations, that's another first.
So many firsts. Love it.
Yes, this interview will go down history books. No, good fun. So, the nose piercing story is what's remaining from the pav bhaji session that you should tell me now.
The nose piercing story. So whoa. Oh my god. He's fast.
Yeah.
So I was in my first year and my therapist was like, try to find smaller ways of feeling like yourself, etc.
Yeah.
So I got my nose pierced because it also felt low-key subversive to like back then be seen as a boy and having my nose pierced in medical school, which is a very conservative space. Your shirt, pant, salwar kameez it's your dress code. It's a thing. Visible tattoos not allowed, this, that, so.
Oh, wow.
And I fully got chucked out of class.
Oh, you had like, clearly.
And it was quite ugly because the teacher who chucked me out was also the HOD of anatomy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And she instructed the entire department to not let me into any class and all. It was one full power trip situation. But eventually I had to remove it. But 2-3 mahine baad I did it again.
How did you like this?
This is nothing like I've ever done before, so it's like damn interesting, this format. I think it made me a lot more comfortable than a lot of other situations I've been in. So thank you for that. I think.
Yeah, you're welcome. But thank you so much.
Thank
you all know what to
you.
do. If you want her back again, 1,000 comments to say that get her back.
Yes,
I don't know, maybe in
please.
Bangalore or Hyderabad we should do one.
Absolutely.
So that we
Or
can
even
get off
Manipal.
in Manipal. The small town of Manipal gets an edition.
Hmm.
But this is me, Sid, signing off. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Thank you so much, folks.
Bye.